I work with quite a lot of people under 25. So this is millennial generation, yeah? And they don't know what's real or not real. There's in that such conflicted space in not really knowing how to handle things. Because the surface of things has been sold to them in the most glitzy packaging ever. So it's really easy to believe that how people show you things to be is how their life is. We all know it. We all know like the couples who had like the amazing pictures of like, oh, romantic dinner together, and look at us at this concert, look at this on this holiday, and then like a month later they're broken up, and you're like, what? Yeah. How does that add up? Yeah. If we believe what's on the surface without questioning it, we never really go beyond the surface. We can feel that we are missing out. We can feel less than or not worthy or whatever if we believe that surface picture of what we're sold. When we scratch the surface a little bit and we go into it a little bit more, the conflicts we all go through are astonishingly similar. The insecurities and fears that we have, they're astonishingly similar from person to person, no matter where we grew up or even what age group we're in. They're astonishingly similar, our experiences. But without having any sense that other people are going through the same, we can so easily feel, oh, it's just me. Unless there's an openness, oh, we just feel it's just me. Feel like a failure, we feel all of these things. Yeah. So going beyond the surface is essential to breaking through that fear that you're describing. That connection with ourselves is where it all begins. Then it starts to become available to everybody else. You start to see who else has gone beneath the surface and who else hasn't. Yeah. After, not too long in meditation, you'll have that experience. You might only be practicing it a month or 2 months, something like that. And it might be that you meet friends or it might be around family, and you'll just start to notice that something is different in you and not different in other people, but you'll notice it. Our different ways of being or relating will just not be there. So it's really evident when we start to feel that. Yeah? Just go a little bit below the surface. So the deeper levels of that for me is definitely what he's talking about in this joy. The deeper levels where we really question everything. We start to get a sense of what's actually real, what's illusion, what can I change, what's completely subject to how my thoughts have been. We start to get a real sense of, God, when I think this way, this is what happens. When I'm feeling in this way, it attracts more of that. It can happen in a flash that we start to get fearful thoughts about something. Or we start to get a little bit paranoid, or things like that. It can happen really quickly. It can be the difference between somebody who's normally very warm to us, and the next time we see them and they don't really say hello, they don't give us a hug, and we're like, oh my God, what's happened? We can start getting into our head going, oh my God, have I done something to upset them? Or whatever. Next thing we know, we're on fearful path, paranoid, or whatever it is. Yeah. Or we get angry about it. What's their problem? Yeah. So how we question the surface level of things. If we take it, as a start, that we question everything on the surface. When we start to look for that deeper level of experience that gives us a sense of what's real and not real. So you'll read it and you'll hear it spoken. Things like only love is real. Everything else is illusion. Anything fear-based is illusion. We've created it to be that way. Illness, everything. Only love is real. Only joy is real. It's like when we scrape everything else away, what are we left with? And this is usually what we find. It's something quite joyful. It's something quite calm, quite peaceful, and very loving. When we get to those deeper levels, it's very easy to be kind to people. It's very easy to be thoughtful. What if soul purpose is what we do every day?
Yeah.
What if it's as ordinary as that? You know, sometimes we think of soul purpose as being this like major epic thing that we do, this pinnacle of life experience, and then, you know, we've done it, you know, tick the box, I've achieved my soul purpose. It may not be that. Our soul purpose may be that in this lifetime we master true love, we master relationships. It might be that we master parenting. It might be that we master whatever. We may have picked any particular task. And if you look at your life, you'll decode it. Yeah? You'll find it in our numerology, our astrology, things like that. So for me, when I started doing my numerology and a few other things like that, feng shui and stuff like that, it all was adding up to the same thing. Everything in my energy wanted me to achieve freedom. Everything that I experienced restricted my freedom. That's a very simplistic way to describe it. So from my family experiences to where I grew up, to particular relationships, to how things played out, yeah, so much was restricting my freedom. So many times I felt absolutely caged. And all I wanted to do was just break everything and run away. So the soul knew that it wanted freedom. It wanted that liberation. But I didn't understand that on a soul level. All I thought was, why can't I ever do anything that I want to do? Yeah. Why does anything I do never work out? So now we can look at experiences where I wasn't allowed lead, where something got in my way, that somebody else stepped in, or whatever the circumstances were, that I had to really step up beyond that in order to lead. And what did I do with it? Did I let fear get in the way, or whatever? Yeah. So it's very possible to decode this. But the feeling when we're on track, for me, feels joyful. It's that feeling of, yeah, this just feels right. It's like that feeling, you may have felt it when you found that house. Yeah, I think this is the house. Something will just feel good and right about that, yeah? What keeps us on the sidelines is if we try and work out every probability and possibility of how things could go wrong, and we create more fear than love. When we allow love to just be what it is, it's usually a journey. It's a journey of shared something with someone. And that journey has beginning, middle, and end. If we can incorporate anything like we spoke about today about joy in that, then it becomes a little bit easier to be in the experience of it no matter what stage of that love we're at.